Yo, welcome to another episode, the Untouched Radio Show, Untouched Podcast, Untouched Live. I'm here with another special guest, my boy, Slash Williams 888. My boy, what's good with you?
What's going on?
Chilling, man.
I'm living. I'm still alive another day on God's earth.
I hear that, man.
I'm blessed.
I hear that.
I'm inside Untouched Studios. Haven't been here in a minute.
Yeah,
but,
man. It misses you, man. You gotta pop back out more.
I had to take my time. I came in here and I was playing my beats. I wasn't liking how my beats were sounding. I had to take some time. I went back. I learned some new techniques and shit. I've been learning how to play the keys. Hey. I didn't grow up with that music influence, really. Everybody's like, oh, play football. You gonna go to college. You gonna play football. Right. And then I was like 17, COVID. My dad had tried to do a podcast. I had a podcast mic. I just started rapping one day. And then I showed my friend. My friend was like, he said to me, I don't know how you could listen to that and say that that's a bad song. And I said, damn, should I start rapping? See? I made an album. I never dropped it. But I made an album. I made like a whole bunch of songs and shit. Dropped out of college.
You still got that album?
Do I still got that album? No, because I made it off my dad's work laptop, man. He got a laptop from his job. They were like, yo, you got to do work at home.
I know what it's like, the first one, and not have the first one.
Bro, I got the first song up, so it's cool. It's like a little, it's a little corny little song. It's
but the intro.
Shout out to Muhammad Ali, though, because I was like, float like a butterfly. Like me, that's what I was saying. I sat there, I remember when I wrote that song, I was watching the Lakers. Yeah. Man, before Bron got there. So if anybody know what it was like before Bron got there, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun though. It was when
Kobe was there.
When Kobe was, it's in between. But
you're talking about
talking about Kobe when he was having them big old ice packs, and we had them we had Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle.
Right.
Who else? D'Angelo Russell. Bro, I remember I found out after a baseball game that D'Angelo Russell got traded by Magic Johnson, who was a made-up member of the damn front office.
He's not a made-up member.
Bro, he was a fake, bro. No other basketball team in the entire league had a member in their organization that was his same position. He was the only one. He was the first one and only one in Laker history.
Why, though? Why do you think Magic? All right, so let's dive into that.
I'll give Magic his credit where it's due.
So why do you think him of all people would get that?
Why do I think they gave that to him?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's because the people that were running the organization were incompetent. What type of team were they building around Kobe in those last years? Who was on them teams? Jordan Clarkson, Jordan Farmar, who was it Jordan Hill? They had mad people named Jordan. That's so crazy. Like people that like couldn't play on some of the worst teams now, bro.
Did you ever think about like teams not wanting to trade to the Lakers to get Kobe a ring?
I think, of course, people are thinking about that because Kobe, but it's like at the same time, it's like look at teams now that.
Like, look at Brandon Ingram right now.
You're telling
me Brandon Ingram was a bad look?
But no, I didn't say Brandon Ingram was a bad look. But getting rid of Brandon Ingram and like drafting Lonzo Ball for what? Dude, that dude was never that good. He was a high school basketball player.
Because of LeBron James.
Right, but it's like
that was LeBron.
Was that worth it though? Was that worth it to get Bron? No. What's the point to get Bron?
No, it wasn't worth it.
Bron is past his prime. Like I love Bron, bro. Shout out to Bron.
I don't think
he's like 40 though, and Brandon Ingram is gonna play like this for like another 5 or 6 years.
Sure.
Bron does not have another 5 or 6 years, and this basketball team, I'm not gonna lie, the Lakers being like, they're not subpar. They made the playoffs and shit. I thought they were gonna win. They didn't. But I'm like, part of the reason I don't want to watch it no more is one, because I'm a communist. I look at it different now. There's too much money involved in it. It makes me upset. But people not eating and shit, but we paying people super billions to just play basketball. It frustrates me a little bit because it's like, damn.
That sounds like hate.
Can we at least feed? Does it sound like
it
hate?
It does, though, a little bit.
Does it?
It does.
I'm not hating
because
on
you should never count another man's pockets.
I'm not counting another man's pockets.
They put it out there.
Hold on, though. I'm looking at our society, and I'm looking at, like, before we started this, I was saying that football is something that unites a lot of different people from different economic classes, right?
That's sports in general.
Right, sports in general. But at the end of the day, that's entertainment. And why should entertainment in a society? I'm not saying that it's wrong, right? Because who am I to speak? I'm a musician. So I'm not saying that it's wrong to create entertainment and art or whatever. Basketball, all this stuff teaches us a lot about life. But why should we prioritize those industries over making sure that we got people fed? You know, because there's no reason when you got so many. I mean, you come from the city. How many empty apartments are in that city because there's people that can't. There's people on the streets that can't afford the exorbitant prices that they're asking. There's so many empty apartments in these areas. But then it's like, so why don't we just like move homeless people in there? Well, how who's gonna pay the rent? Who's gonna da-da-da? And it's like so we give all these millions and millions and millions of dollars away to people for art and entertainment and whatever. Only the art that the powers that be say is the art that should deserve it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm sitting in an independent studio. We not signed to no Universal, no, none of that. So it's like the powers that be are either, for multiple reasons, haven't decided to make this the art that, let's all show up at Coachella and whatever and do all this and that and have all this backing. And that's what I'm saying is that why should those priorities be made?
So I say this to you, right? So those industries that you discussed, excuse me, as well as the industry that we're in music, those industries fund different people coming from some harsh upbringings. So like,
I'm not hating on the athletes. So don't take it that way. I'm looking at the industry.
But this is what I mean. So like, all right, when you look at an industry that makes all of this money, right? And they're making way more than the players are getting.
Oh yeah.
But the players are getting a lot of money, right? And then you look at, certain places are still hungry. People are still having issues with homelessness. I would say it is kind of irresponsible to think that these athletes and these companies and franchises are not giving back to the computer.
See, but that's not efficient. That's what I'm saying, is that it's not efficient to say as a country, like as the U.S. government, to say, let's put it in the hands of these corporations who they treat like people and they're not people. They don't operate the way that people operate. They say, like, and I don't even want to talk about athletes and whatever, because like I'm not gonna sit here and say LeBron doesn't give back. LeBron's done more philanthropy than many other people in his class have done. A lot of like, so he's done a lot of shit. A lot of look at what we were just talking about. Deion Sanders. Look at what Deion Sanders did. Deion Sanders pulled one of the coolest plays I've ever seen in my entire life.
Do you think he should have stayed in Jackson and not go to Colorado?
But he brought a lot of those. He brought a lot of those players with him.
But money came with that.
But he brought a lot of those players with him.
But money came with that though. He did Jackson for almost nothing, as opposed to what he did when he went to Colorado. Colorado was a financial.
That's the pressures that this society will put on you as any person to say, I need bigger, I need better, I need this, I need a better contract, I need more, whatever I need. Like, and that's
what's
what
wrong
we're
with
talking
better
about.
Though?
It's not what's wrong
because
with better.
You shouldn't necessarily
it's
just
not
be
what's
content.
Wrong with better. It's why. It's why is this worse? That's what I think people have to look at.
You're talking about intent. Like, what's your intention? Like,
nah. I'm saying look at it from it's kind of like glass half full, glass half empty sort of way of looking at things. Why if that car is better than the car that I pulled up in today, why is it how is not what it makes that car better? It's faster, it looks cooler, it's a better color, but what makes this one worse? Like, why can't this one coexist? Why do we have to leave and do this other stuff because there's more money involved?
Well, maybe it's personal reasons. Maybe like
of
that
course,
feeling.
All that factors in.
But that's what I mean. Like, maybe like that person just got tired of that car. Or that person just was like, yo, you know what? I want to get into something better. Like,
but do you think that that it's personal if the entire society operates that way. If even
Yeah.
I, who am sitting here and
because
criticizing
each
it,
person
operate that way.
because each person has a choice. You know what I mean? So like, although they're following a trend, which I think has a lot to do with social media, things like that. People clout chasing. You know, that's the new drug is clout. I believe that is what drives people these days. They follow the trends, but
But
that
it's
doesn't
been that way though. Like
necessarily.
to say these days, like, do you mean these days in terms of like going back? To
No,
like
it's
the
worse
20s?
now. It's worse now.
Yeah, because that's
It's
what,
worse now because
that's
of,
what
nah.
happens.
But
is
what I'm trying to explain,
that's the bigger, better chase that I'm trying to allude to is that
right. But
people are
they
chasing
did
that more
then,
notoriety.
But they did that then for them to have what they have now. So like, my thing is you know, the past predicts the present, and the present predicts the future. You know, and it's all works in a circle of this life that we have, and a lot of things that trend now could trend 20 years from now. You know, and all what I'm saying is that when it comes to people trying to live up to a standard that society is creating, I also look at the people that are considered the influencers, like the ones that are the one that have to put out this standard, so to speak. But then I go back into that freedom that we all have to make that choice. So although these people are following the trend, that's their choice to do it. It's not anybody forcing anyone to do anything. But then you have to
remember that these things are so wide ranging that it's not just about cars and clothes and clout and money. It's also when you talk about drugs.
Sure.
So when you say drugs, and you know, you look at the opioid epidemic, you look at the crack epidemic, you look at even if you want to look at reefer madness and all that in that time period, these type of quote unquote trends that you're referring to, they're not just in terms of like, oh well, if you close your laptop screen and walk outside, you know, maybe you won't care about whatever shirt.
No, that's not
wearing.
what I mean.
But
that's not what I mean.
But these trends aren't just like the trends almost take away your freedom, because even not following trends, sometimes you're still getting away from the life that you really should be living. You know what I mean? Like, because when you say, oh well, you know, I got to do some coaching, I was coaching my daughter's flag football team, that is something that genuinely makes me envious, and it feels different than seeing somebody in a car that is nicer than your car, in a Mercedes or whatever. It feels different, and you feel that in your stomach rather than just in your head, and like looking at that and saying, oh well, he got the SLR, like he got whatever car. But it's like,
so you're just talking about people that's materialistic.
Not even just materialistic, but it's so much more than that, because materialism is our entire culture though. And to say that it's not,
but you're talking about things. You're not really talking about like, all right. So when you dive into, do you have a family, like kid?
No, I don't have a kid, but I got you know.
Yeah. Okay. So
when you
starting a family, you in the process.
Like that's that's the end goal. You got to get the money right first to do that.
So let me explain. So like, you know, the family don't truly start until that kid come, right? So like, one thing that, you know, is
so
wild.
How old is your oldest kid?
Well, let me finish.
Can I ask you that first before you say?
Yeah, I got a 9 and an 8-year-old.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, all right, so boom. Like when you have children, right, you start to realize that the value of money. Like money doesn't, like I'm somebody that has gotten money in different ways from when I was young to now, you know, and when it comes to my children and their goals and their aspirations, then listen to them and the things that they want to accomplish in life. It takes money to do so, you know, and if that was all free, bro, like honestly, it wouldn't be what we have today. Like if teachers just taught because they wanted to just teach and didn't take any compensation, like they're already underpaid, right? Because my nana, she graduated, she retired as a teacher, you know, and
where she teach, like elementary school? Or,
yeah, elementary school.
Okay, yeah.
And that's
Shout out to her.
That's the groundworks. That's the foundation of the knowledge of learning. I told
this kid, it was this kid that was staying
saying?
across the street from me that he was homeschooled, and he was outside talking to me one day, and I was like, he was starting homeschool, like starting kindergarten basically, and I was like, I told him, I was like, you know, they really say that you learn everything you're supposed to know for life in kindergarten. So you really gotta be in there paying attention. Well, he goes, well, my teacher is my mom. So I was like, that's even more of a, you know, like that's the things that we're robbed of, because it's like when you say, I'm gonna let you continue on what you were saying about compensation. Just go ahead and say that.
I just want to, of course. Like you know, I feel like when it comes to compensation for the teachers, like if everybody just did what they did just for the love of it, and everything was just free, even those billionaires and those trillionaires and those people that got all this money that's able to fund whatever they funding, it couldn't happen. Like America couldn't be free without that, without the currency.
See, that's where I disagree, because I think that the currency is what bonds us. Because when you live your life based on, let's take somebody that's working not even 9 to 5. I just came from working as a dishwasher and shit, $16 an hour, taking all my damn nights away from 4 p.m. to 11 o'clock. I would get home at like midnight every night, right? And then I'm trying to hustle and make music on the side, and then I had to take a look and say, damn, I got an LLC registered about this, and I'm still spending time and wasting my time that I have on this earth working towards what I actually want to create, my actual goals, dreams, aspirations, whatever. And I'm wasting my time because I caught a case and shit. There's lawyer fees and all types of shit like that you have to, take care of with money. And when you say everything is money and you realize the importance of money and shit, it's like, I realize that it binds us to what we're doing. It makes us so linear in what we have to do, because we say, I need money to eat. Well, I need money to pay the rent. I need money to do this. I need money to whatever, which is true.
What about,
but if something's free?
What if you got paid in certificates? Like, would you feel the same gratification as if you was to get a raise? You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, because the truth of the matter is that both of those things are like material in a way. Honestly, the only compensation that I want is walking out to a show or walking out somewhere, and the only compensation that I ever need in my whole entire life is having a conversation with somebody, or somebody sharing a common interest with me or whatever, because that's what's real. Like when you look at money in a bank account, even money in front of you, like, what are you gonna do with that? You gonna eat that money? You gonna burn that money to heat your house? Like, that's not what's real. Adds a different
to heat your house, or you
right? But
buy something.
Why do we have to buy something to heat our house? Or let's even say, why do we have to buy this? Why should we have to go and
you don't? You can go get a spring. You can go to a spring. You can go overseas, like a lot of them did, to create your own water. You can have your own thing going.
Nestle gonna over withdraw and ruin the fuck out of our damn natural water supply. They're gonna do that to our oil supply. They're gonna do that to everything we got, because they want more money out of it. And when you say, like, if everybody just did it for the love, would this shit happen? Yeah, it would. And you would have people in there teaching, because I grew up with a lot of teachers that when I look back on it, I'm like, why did you want to be around kids?
In order to build this shit, you need these materials. You need to purchase these materials to build whatever you got.
You need to buy it, or you need to buy it, is what you're saying. Now you don't. You just need to make it. That's the thing. Like, that's what I was saying before we started.
You need those natural things. Like, when you're gonna go, like, spend, like, we talking about time. Like, you want to talk about time. You're gonna take your time to go out there to these, mines and these different, like,
if you want to
areas to dig up your own resources.
You could build a house out of, like, if you're born,
let's chop trees down. Let's say you're born
from
the gate or
a manger, right? But so it's the same principle that applies, though. It's the same thing that applies, though, when you say, okay, like, or if I gotta work hard and have the value of money and and understand all these things, and money is so important, it costs this and that. It's like, wouldn't you say that if you were born in a manger, right? You had to grow up homeless and basically just figure it out, build your own shelter, find food, whatever. Wouldn't you appreciate that a lot more? And if you want to say it could be the same, then it could be the same. But aren't you gonna really appreciate that and see that as, okay, this is what life really is like? You got, and I'm not diminishing nothing that you've accomplished, because I look up to you a lot. Just everything you got going on here and shit. It's really like, I don't want to use the word envy, because that's very like, that's got negative connotations. But I look up to you a lot for sure, and so I'm not trying to diminish anything you do. But if you're in the house that you built with your two bare hands, let's say you and your partner, or whoever, you and your kids, whatever, you built this house up, and now you go to sleep in this house, and it might be small, it might be kind of dirty, it might be, you might not have glass in the windows and shit, it might not be efficient or whatever, but that's really yours. You really built that with your own two hands. The same way you got this studio right now. You can go to sleep every night proud that you got the studio held down, that you done built it up and everything.
Right.
And it's,
but somebody else like got compensated to build this building though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
right.
I feel like they deserve that, because if they have a family to take care of,
why can't the compensation?
Well, because they got to take care of a family, like that,
right.
which goes back to where I'm headed with it. When I'm saying you got children that need clothes, like not everybody is going to make their own clothes. Not everybody is going to build their own tools and bowls and things. You pay people who specialize in these things, or now, which in certain cases there are companies that manufacture these things, but they also pay people to work for them to manufacture these things.
Right, where
so,
they determine what's the value of all this shit. Where
right,
they say,
so like the conversation ain't necessarily the compensation. The conversation is more so of the concentration on the value of the money.
And that goes back to
made.
talking about the entertainment industry and sports,
everybody
and music,
should be compensated for
their
that's
work. What I'm saying. When you put on a song that you made, and now I'm speaking to you from one rapper to another rapper. Take everything else out of it if you can. When you put on a song that you made, no matter what song, no matter from what time,
right?
Does it matter how many likes the song
hell
got?
Nah.
How many views?
Hell no.
Exactly. So the compensation.
If I made money from it or any of that, nah, hell no. None of that matters.
It's like, it's cool. It's on the
cool.
side though. But it's on the side though.
Yeah.
The same way that I believe that money should be on the side of building houses. People shouldn't prioritize.
Let me be objective with that statement. So like, let's say that same that same single, right, was to pop. And now, not only did I just do it for the love, I don't care how many likes it got. I don't care how many views it got. I really don't care. When I made it, I have no care for it. But now that shit is trending and popping on all platforms. Everybody's listening to it.
So you're saying it's making you money?
Not necessarily that. It's gonna make me money, yeah. But what I'm saying is,
are you referring to people hearing your music and connecting with your message?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because what ultimately that does is it brings more awareness to the other shit that I'm doing, which has to get funded somehow. Like you can't just
you can't make a movie without no money in this world though. In this world, in this way that we've constructed it, you can't.
And in any world that we've ever known, outside of what we've been taught in books, you know what I'm saying? Right. Everything that you and I have ever known exists in that world that you're talking about.
Exactly.
Like, that's the world we live in.
Exactly, and that's what
it's
scares
called
me.
Adaptation.
That's what scares me though. Is when we look at the world right now though.
Right.
And you look and you walk down any street in this city, you walk down any street, you're gonna find somebody that's out there with no house. And that's crazy. That's insane. That should never happen.
But I'll tell you this. I know a lot of people that ended up that way, and sometimes it was choices that led to that, bro. Like it's not always
choices, but it was also choices. Like you said, everything we've ever known is in this world. Right. Those choices are a product of that world. The fact that, because look, like I said, I was reading this book called Ishmael by Daniel Quinn, and in that book, it made me think about when he was talking about drug addiction next to the juxtaposed with the hunter-gatherer lifestyle and the way that is. If you were walking around Like, let's think about weed smokers. I'm a weed smoker. You are. Like,
yes, Lord.
A lot of us are. A lot of us wake up in the morning and we smoke weed every day. It's a medicine for us. It becomes a medicine that we need because of the stressors that come with everyday life in this world. If this world was not the case and we were still hunter-gatherers from back in the day, right? If you walked around and you found weed one day and you smoked that weed and then you woke up the next day, you wouldn't be like, oh, I want to smoke more weed. You would say to whoever you smoked it with, damn, that was crazy, wasn't it? That was so cool. We got to go hunt now because we have other shit that we have to do. Whereas
you can't
in this
that.
world...
You can't say that.
I can't say that because I don't know for certain,
like,
but that don't make sense to you?
Because, like, no, it don't. Because,
it doesn't.
Check it out. Let me tell you why it doesn't make sense to me, right? So, like, all right, so when you going into that time, during the hunter and gatherers time, they had no concept of time. So there wasn't Monday through Friday work week. Like, let's go do what we do Monday through Friday. Like, they didn't know what a 24-hour day was. When the sun came up and the sun went down, they didn't calculate that.
Has that improved has that really improved?
But this is the point. But this is the point.
Right, go ahead.
This is the point. Is like when you come to, let's say, that time frame, I may say, shit, man, that was a lot of fun. After we go finish hunting and gathering some shit, we should go smoke that shit again. You can't say I won't say that. That's
I'm not
just
saying
where
you won't smoke it again. But what I'm saying is you won't fixate on it the way that we fixate on shit.
But you don't know. You don't know because you don't have the construct of
but when you talk about specialization,
right,
and you talk about Monday through Friday even,
right,
have these things improved the quality of your life? Because I'll tell you right now,
bro,
from
but
my
I haven't
genuine
lived
perspective,
without it.
I haven't lived without. Okay, right.
You know
and see, that's the caveat to it. That's the caveat to it.
I can't give you that, bro.
But I'll say this though. 24-hour days, that shit make my life a lot harder because when I think about a 24-hour day, when I think about a 24-hour day, I'm not saying I wish there was more, but I'm saying I wish that. It sounds crazy to say this, but I wish that I almost valued every hour less because in a way we spend so much time doing rigid scheduling and really like sitting down and being like, all right, I'm gonna spend 2 hours in the studio, then I'm gonna spend 3 hours making beats, then I'm gonna do ads for like 2 hours, and I'm gonna read for a little while. And when you do that, rather than focusing on what you're really doing, you're focusing on the fact that you're getting it done, and the fact that and so that's where it leaves out. It's like I just read this quote from MF Doom, rest in his soul and everything, but he had said one time, he said, I don't even really like hip-hop. I rap for the money. And that's probably true. And that's what's so crazy is to say, like, that's probably what a lot of us do subconsciously with everything that we do, is that we're doing it for the money, or we're doing it because it's, like, the fact of, like, whatever, until it gets towards human connection and family and that type of stuff. Because it's like, I'm not trying to count your pockets, as you said, but I mean, you probably didn't get paid, if you got paid at all, for coaching football. Like,
that was volunteer. That's volunteer,
right? And that's off the love, and that's probably one of the. I'm not trying to speak for you, but that's probably one of the most rewarding things you ever did was coach that damn team. Because
not certain, like not for certain, because I tell you this, like sometimes when you do things for like volunteer, like to me, the most important thing in this world, this earth, this planet, however you want to look at it, is time. So like it takes time to do that. And that's time not only with my kids, because I got to coach my kids, but that's other people's kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what happens is that you have other factors that come into play where they don't value the time that you have. You know, that also happens with the studio. You know,
let's
say
exactly
if you be like, yo, listen, like,
exactly
I'll be there at 9:00, and you know, reasons that I said I would be there at 9, and you know, I reach out earlier because sometimes it's fine. But I'm just telling you, like, you know, and it has nothing to do with you. I'm just saying, in previous, you know, with people, they act like I just have all day to be here to wait for them to do, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because at the end of the day, the time to me is the most important thing. It's not money. It's the time that I could spend with my kids. It's the time that I could spend doing the things that I love to do, that I enjoy doing.
Right. And so,
And
in your perspective, would you say that having more money, not that it gives you more time or it can even possibly buy you more time, but would you say that having more money, in a sense, does give you more freedom with your time?
Definitely gives me more flexibility, because it would allow me to put people in place to take care of the things that I can't get to necessarily. Right. And then that may be an opportunity for someone else.
That's one of my goals, is to create jobs. Like, that's one of my goals.
Right.
For
but
shit,
what is
sure,
a job
is
without what is a job without financial compensation?
See, but that's when you attach life to money the way that, like I'm referring to it as this world, like,
sure.
When you attach money is not the only form of compensation. When you keep saying compensation, money is not the only form of compensation, because at the end of the day, like, when you might go spend, I don't know, however much on Christmas presents or whatever, but it's not really the fact of like, oh, well, I'm buying them this Christmas present so they'll get me a better one. It's just, I want them to have this because I want them to, even if they just smile for 5 minutes and they never look at this thing again, I want them to smile and look at this, and that's compensation enough to go out and spend hard-earned dollars on whatever knick-knack or whatever sign or little toy or whatever. Like, and so that's what I'm getting at, is that's what I said, like, the only compensation that I could ever really hope for out of music isn't necessarily money, even though I know in my heart of hearts that money's gonna come. It's when I'm standing up on that stage and I'm singing them songs where I put my heart and soul into it, and I learned everything I had to learn to create this. Like, I got I'm looking at it right now. I got 2 tapes I put out during the summer. I produced all myself. That's the most rewarding shit ever, to just hear that, let alone share that with the world. And that's where I think that music should come from, and that's where it doesn't come from. Is it comes from that hustle. Like, how many people that play in the league right now? Shout out to Larry Sanders, because he was the first person I heard about doing this. How many people play in that league right now and always played basketball growing up because they wanted to get money for their family? Not because they love basketball, but because they wanted to get money for their family, and that was the way to do it. And they might be unhappy in that life of playing basketball, getting up every day. Maybe like Larry Sanders, literally, I think he wanted to be a poet and like smoke weed and chill. Like, and if that's the life that you want to live, I think that we should be born with an inherent freedom to do that, to live the lives that we want to live, of like, I want to be an artist, I want to paint, and anybody's art has value. It doesn't matter who perceives it as good or bad or whatever, ugly, whatever. Everybody's art has value, and the fact that that's gone away as we've, quote unquote, progressed as a society, of like, we're looking at these cave paintings, and, you know, like you said, like, if people taught for free, all these Greek teachers that every kid is in school learning about Pythagorean theorem and learning about Plato and Socrates and all these people that were teachers that would stand outside at random places, and people would gather around them, and they would just go, yeah, triangles work this way, I think. And then everyone would go, and then they would all walk around and go, yo, you know, triangles work this way. And then it just went from there. And that all started off the love. And that's what I'm getting at, is that I think that people are so disconnected. Like, sure, there's some rappers that are popular, famous.
They still had compensation to be who they were, though. They weren't living like everyone else.
You don't think so?
They were held on a higher platform. And how so is that when you have a skill, when you have a talent, a God-given gift, if you will, I believe you should be held up for your gift. I feel like that is something that should be...
But held up by who?
Whomever, bro. It don't even matter. See,
that's where I disagree with you. It does matter. It does matter, because at the end of the day, if you drop a project and it gets 100,000 streams on let's say a single, you drop a single, it gets 100,000 streams, but you did it independent versus Empire bought 50,000 streams for you, and then you got, like, you know, whatever other streams from little ads or whatever. Sure. Which one has more value? And you can answer that honestly.
I get what you're saying. Like, so it'd be, I reach more people if it was the other way as opposed to
but
empire
you genuinely reached those people, and
right.
you reached them
Right.
because they wanted to be reached by you.
Sure.
That's the difference
Sure.
between the way that we live now, is that you don't, like, even when you said with the going back to the weed example, oh, let's go hunt, but let's go get some weed after. That way of living, of saying, okay, I want to do that, that's your choice, you know. But
that's
we
what,
get
that's
locked into this mentality of how, like, smoking weed is a medicine for us, right? Yeah. So,
but not necessarily everybody though. Like that's where I'm getting at, bro. Is that everyone has their own choice to follow whatever they want to follow. Like, just because someone says, "Yo, you should wake up in the morning and smoke a clip," don't mean that everybody that smokes weed wakes up in the morning and wants to wake and bake. But that's what I mean by the we statement. Like, everybody can't be French when it comes to independent thought process. You know what I'm saying? It can't be we when it comes to like a thought process, an independent thought. Like, your mindset is your mindset, and you have to accept that for that first, and then you can't therefore look at other people and say, hey, this is how they think too, because we all have our own.
But I'm not even judging. I'm not necessarily judging off. I think what I'm doing on accident is I'm ascribing the thought process that has to go into the actions that I'm seeing visually.
Sure, and but then so, like, that is still an opinion and not a fact.
Yeah, nah. See, but that's what I said. I did it. I'm doing it by mistake. That's
why right. Like, I wanna reel it back in to get you to understand that everybody still has their independent choice.
See, but that's where I don't. You know that's where I actually disagree. Is I don't really feel that we have independent choices, because when you say, right, but you have independent choices, but to what extent? Because you can't really. I remember when I was a kid, and when I first started saying, "Oh, Mom, it's wrong that we got to pay to live in a house and pay for water and food and everything," and she's like, "All right, well then go live in the woods." I remember being like, I still do feel this way. I wish I could, but you can't. It's literally illegal to do that. Like, they'll come, like, if they find out that you're living in the woods, not paying no taxes or whatever, you get in trouble for that. And that's like,
no, you're homeless in the woods.
Right, but you can get in trouble for being homeless. You can get arrested for vagrancy. You can like, that's the fun part about capitalist society, is that it costs money to be broke. I saw when I was in court not too long ago, I guess it was like more so a year ago, I saw a guy that had got arrested for petty theft in shackles, getting put on a payment plan. What the fuck is that? Like, that is the product of this society. Of like, yeah, okay, you can say he had a choice not to steal. Okay, I'll give you that. He had a choice not to steal. But did he have a choice to be put into, like, dire economic circumstances? Not necessarily. Maybe he did. Maybe he bought a whole bunch of shit he shouldn't have. Maybe he fucked up. But it's like, should people be punished for making mistakes like that? You know, like, for making a mistake that, you know.
How do you know a mistake is wrong if there's no punishment for it?
Because of where it got you to. Because it's like, if you're
making
mistakes.
What do you mean what it got you to? See, that don't make any sense. So let's say if you steal something and there was no consequence, how do you learn that was wrong? So, like, that, what keeps that same person from running into your house and stealing it?
I guess, all right. You just cracked a little thought process in my head that I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, but, come on now. That's why we here.
That, you know, like, I see what you're getting at, but I hope that you could see what I'm saying too, where I'm like, where it got you to, because it's like, all right, let's say you cheat on your partner. Your partner, you know, that type of punishment is equal to whatever, you know, like, your partner gonna leave you if you cheat on them. So it's like, that type of punishment is equal to that. But is it equal to say, okay, you stole a bag of chips, now you have to be in jail for the next 30 days, and then after that you got to go on a payment plan?
I feel you.
While you don't even, how can you have money to pay anything if
you're
like? So I'm saying, like, where it got you to, of the point
type
of, like,
of payment. I mean, the type of punishment. Like,
right,
you're saying, like, to the extent
of, like,
of how
when your freedom is on the line. So it's like, if you're going hungry and you got to steal to eat, what does it matter if you're gonna go to jail? Because if you go to jail, at least they're gonna give you, it might be the worst food on the planet, but at least you're gonna, like, maybe get to eat a meal. Whereas if you're outside homeless and you have no money coming in, you've been tried to go in McDonald's, get a job, whatever, all these independent choices. Like,
so from what I'm gathering from that, then what you're saying is the punishment is just. So if you had to steal to eat, now you get to go to jail and you can eat for free. Is that what you're saying?
Nah, not even, because
it's like not free. You giving up your freedom,
right? Because you're giving up you have to give up your freedom to eat, and that's not right. That doesn't, like, you can't think that's innate human psychology to be like, yeah, we have to give up freedom.
But what I'm saying is that there are things in place, and there's not many of them, and they're not all. I would say ideal for most people, but there are many options for people to eat.
Yeah, like there's people there's soup kitchens and all that stuff. People that really this goes back to what we were saying with the athletes and prioritizing the entertainment industry above people. It's like, I'll tell you right fucking now, you can go on any damn platform you want and watch a basketball game tonight. You can go on YouTube, you can go on HBO, you can go on the cable. Yeah, you can. You can go on HBO. You can go on HBO tonight and watch. I swear you can, because
not every game.
HBO Max, they got certain games on there.
Not every game though.
Lakers though.
Not every game.
No, but I'm saying
that's all I'm saying.
You can go,
like,
but you can even pirate. You can even pirate. You can get. You can get to these games.
I had to go to a restaurant to watch one of my teams play yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
But I couldn't watch it. But you can still see it though. You can still see it though. Right. Now let's talk about somebody. Let's talk about somebody that has to steal to eat. Now, why in the world is it more, or is it? Oh damn! What's the word? Like easily accessible. You can go, like you can go into a bar and watch the basketball game, or you can sit at home and watch a basketball game.
Steal to eat. What if that person just did it just for the hell of it, because it was just?
Well, then we getting into what ifs with it, and there's so many things that can happen with what ifs.
But that's what the what ifs is, though. Like that's what we're into.
I'm saying, hold on. Because you can watch a basketball game if you go into a bar, even if you stand outside, whatever. People, you can get to a basketball game. It's easier to get to a basketball game than it is to get to food for people. And that is what I'm saying is wrong. Is that how is more money going into, like, let's talk about a New York specific thing.
You have to pay to watch those basketball games, bro.
No, you don't. Because you can walk down the street and watch a basketball game happen at the park.
All that's saying just to watch somebody playing.
You can watch basketball, bro. Yeah. You can watch basketball, and it's more efficient and easier for you to watch basketball than it is for you to get food. And that's real. You can take that to any circumstance, because even if you're working a job, you got to work your ass off and give up your freedom to get the food. That's what I'm saying is it's like,
I'm from New York City, man. There's a park in every corner out there, like you know what I mean. So when it comes to like watching a basketball game as opposed to eating. Like, there are also parks and places where people are cooking out. People are just making food.
But are they taking care of everybody?
They could.
No, they can't. They can't, because you're putting it in the hands of individual people.
You don't necessarily know that. I come from an elk where my mom, she fed many kids that was less fortunate because she had the means to do so.
But let's say this though. What if your mom didn't do that? Then who would feed them? Somebody else? Or we just gonna give that up to the air? That's what's upsetting.
But that's my point. Is that there are people that do that, so you can't discredit the fact that is actually existing. You're making
I'm
it
not
seem
discrediting it. I'm not discrediting
what I mean.
But what I'm saying is it's not efficient. That's what I'm saying.
But to who's fucking count? Like it's not efficient
to any count, because if you say that, okay, every person should eat. If you say this though, listen, this is the basics that you learn in kindergarten, like how we had said earlier. Like, you learn the basics in kindergarten. You learn to survive, you need food, water, and shelter, and clothing too. Like, unless you're before Adam and Eve ate the apple. But I'm saying, if those are the three things that we need to survive, how come? Like, why shouldn't those be guarantees? Why shouldn't our government, which is in place to serve us, right? Not the other way around. We are not in place to serve our government, and that's what it's been turned into, is we're in place to serve these jobs and these governments and these people that tell us what we have to do and tell us how we have to live and earn money and do this stuff, when it's like food grows in the ground.
They don't necessarily tell you. But listen,
how can
they
you
don't
say,
necessarily tell
yes,
you?
Yes, they do.
How?
Through the fact that
they told you what to do, what you're doing right now. They damn sure didn't tell me to do what I'm doing.
But I'm deliberately breaking the rules.
But
I'm breaking the fucking rules, and that's the thing.
And then on another spectrum, I'm not, and I'm still not doing what they telling me to do. So,
but
like, at the end of the day,
because they don't want you to start your own business. They want you under Amazon, and they want you under Empire.
So if they don't want me to do my own thing, and I'm doing my own thing, how am I following what they're doing? What they're saying for me?
You're not following it. You're not following it to a T, but you to a certain extent. It's impossible for you to not follow it, because it's like if you owe rent this month and you paid for every meal that you've had. But listen though.
That's anyone that owns something.
If you own rent this month on your house, not on
mortgage, rent here,
all that
money,
all that to create what art that's coming straight from the love, but you gotta pay for it. You gotta be able to buy an interface and a microphone and a laptop and all. I remember I went into a Target and I was trying to talk to this guy about how could I like build my own studio out. He goes, well, first thing first, make sure you got like $1,600, and I'm like 15. I'm like, yo, how the fuck am I supposed to have $1,700 just like sitting around to make music? But I didn't deserve. But I didn't deserve to make music at that time because I didn't have the money for it.
But bro, like
somebody doesn't deserve to eat because they don't have the money. Don't deserve to have a house.
It's not saying you don't gotta deserve for it, but bro, you sound entitled. Like I'm gonna be honest. Yo, let me finish the statement.
I don't think it's entitled to say I shouldn't have to pay to live in a house or drink water and eat food.
Let me finish the statement. Like that's entitlement. Like let me break it down, because when you feel like you deserve to get something because you breathe this air and you live on this earth, I feel like it's beyond me. Like, because at the end of the day, like everyone that you have ever known in this world, in this lifetime, has had to work to get to where they wanted to go, except for the ones, let me finish, bro.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry.
Except for the ones that feel privileged. The ones that feel like they don't have to, that don't have the hardship. Let me finish. That don't have the hardships of actually dealing with not having. When you don't have and you have to make do and you have to try to figure it out, and people are not around you figuring it out for you, and it's literally solely on your own shoulders, that is a different kind of reality. That is something that a lot of people don't get a chance to experience when they're in a position of privilege or in a position of like where they feel they're owed something some way or another.
But like, so when you talk about hunter-gatherer lifestyle though, it's not like it's not like I'm saying, okay, I think that we deserve to be like, there's a guy that comes at night, a stork, if you will, that comes at night and drops us off a little, a couple Pop-Tarts and some. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that, and I'm not taking it the wrong way. And you saying a privilege.
You say this guy, right?
Santa Claus.
Who? No,
comes and brings you food.
This dude named Santa Claus, right? Mm-hmm. He's a fucking the best hunter there is. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? He's the best hunter there is. He's going out there. He's slaying the biggest animals there come. He is picking, the gatherers, they're picking some of the best fruits there is. You're saying that because they are special in what they're doing, they shouldn't get more. I don't think that because I'm good at making music that I need music more than the next man does. No, it's not needing music. Like what
no, okay, food. All right, fine. We'll keep it to food though.
Whatever.
All right, I'll answer that direct question then. Let me say this though. I don't think that they deserve more. No, I don't. I think that everybody deserves the exact. If they're telling you in kindergarten that you need food, water, and shelter to survive.
So check it. So then you got him going crazy. Right. He's getting all that food for the land, right? For the village or whatever. And then you got somebody that's sitting beside him that's doing the same thing he's doing, that's bullshitting. But just going around, but he's getting the same portion as the person that is busting his ass to get it for the whole village. You're saying that person that's barely doing it shit deserves the same as the one that is busting his ass?
See, when you put it that way, it makes it sound crazy for me to say yes, but I have to say yes because as human beings, if we need it to survive,
bro, that
then
was never the case in any Like,
nah, see, but it wasn't.
part,
You're right. It wasn't
ever.
the case. It wasn't ever the case. But we've gotten to a point where we're now. It's not. I don't actually believe that it's ever possible for us to go back that way, that far, like 10,000 years back, right? But I'm saying then, we're to a point now where
nobody that was hunting and gathering at the max,
though,
and they was given more to.
No, I know that. I know. I agree with you. I agree with you.
I agree with you. Their family,
right?
They didn't give a fuck about the
now.
Other families.
It's to the point where I don't think that people understand how much food is actually wasted every single day. That because people don't have $4.32 to buy the donut or whatever, it goes straight in the garbage and just goes to nothingness because somebody couldn't afford it. And that's what I'm getting at. Is
it goes in there because they got a health code that they gotta follow where they say that
all right. Don't sit here and say that those health codes have anything to do with anything.
No, but I'm saying
because they don't give a fuck
why
about our
companies.
Health.
What I'm saying is why the companies follow what they follow. So at the end of the day, you got to get rid of this food. You can't sell people food that was cooked.
But you can't even
give.
But you also can't even give it to them. You can't even give it to them, and that's what happens. People, I know. Handful of people that have lost their jobs because they see, oh damn, I'm working at Panera. I'm working at Panera. Here they go with the pasta, dumping the pasta into the thing. Let me grab a couple takeouts and take that to the homeless guys that's in the parking garage. People lose their job. People lose their job over that.
Bro,
yes.
Nobody's lost their job for that.
On life and the Lord, people have lost their jobs that way. I swear to God. Why would I lie to you? Why would I lie to you? Why would I lie to you? This is my voice on the mic. Why would I lie?
No, the reason why is because I know people that own restaurants and they never would ever like that.
Right,
doesn't
those
happen.
people wouldn't.
Right, so
but these people have, and that's what I'm saying. Is
why?
That's
because
that individual choice.
No, because it's called lawsuits. Because if that same person on the side street gets that cup of noodles, right? And they eat those noodles and they get sick and they go and they sue that major company to get a come up. Because
right, but why is food even ever attached to a come up at all?
It may not be,
but it is though.
No,
because your friend owns a restaurant for what?
No, what I'm saying is like it may not be. You know what I'm saying? Like that person may sue that company, and it may not be all solely because I want to get money from them or whatever the case may be. Some people might really have gotten sick that day. And then somebody else may be trying to get a come up off of them. But reality of it is that when it comes to a corporation, in order to be that, you have to have these bylaws within your company. You have to have that. Like when you start a company, you have to have laws within your company. If you don't have laws within your company, that's giving the freedom for anybody to do anything in any kind of way, and it's not in line with your vision.
Like, where do our laws that we follow in these bylaws that you're referring to, they don't come from a place of what works best for us. Right, they come from a place of what makes us the most money, and that's the problem.
But that's the person, though. That's not necessarily it is.
Because
it's the person. It's the person, because not every company is like that. You got mom and pop shops, like these restaurants that I'm referring to, right, where they start with their money to invest into what they need to do, and they are providing food for these people. They are not slaying
mom
these
mom and pops are different than corporations, and that's what I'm trying to say.
But it's the same process.
It's not.
It is.
It's not, because your process and Empire's process are not the same.
What I'm saying
and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
What I'm saying is that they have storehouses, which they refer to in like you know, when you think of religion or so, you know, storehouses, which is a place that has the food prepared for these companies, for these major corporations, as well as these mom and pop shops. Like, whether you believe it or not, they all get from some of the same resources, like the same depots, the same restaurant depots and places that provide. They all get
and
from
so you're saying that this structure creates a system that works better for us in this world, like not compared to hunter gatherer, but in this world.
What I'm saying, bro, is that prior to those companies and corporations and those mom and pop shops getting that food, they also had to have a process to get that food to those depots, and also get that food to even be clean or to be hunted for to get it. If people shot the deer or the venison,
but we both know that that's not how that goes anymore.
Of course not. But my point is that at the end of the day, when you look at the processes of people being able to provide as a company, as a business, like what you're ultimately saying is that my family or my friends or people that have restaurants should ultimately just give their food out for free.
No, I'm not saying that they should give it out for free. I'm not saying that because like
but why be
there's a difference.
compensated if
There's
it's
a
not,
difference
what's the
between
point?
restaurant food and food to eat and live. Okay, because I grew up in, like I grew up in the suburbs with like a weird little angle of like struggling where we ate a lot of ramen noodles and a lot of shit like that. And it's like, but
Sounds
I'm here,
like college to
I'm
you.
here.
Yeah?
I'm here. Yeah, basically, I lived in a college diet from the age of like 11 to like
Copy that.
even now, right? But so, we lived. We're all still alive. Like, and we didn't have to go to a restaurant to live. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to put in all that passion and whatever, because like doing this is music the same way that going on to Spotify and playing something that's all professionally made is done. And I'm not saying that somebody that doesn't deserve compensation for creating art, which is what food is really. If you go to a restaurant, it is art. It's culinary arts.
Sure.
Creating that art. I'm not saying that somebody doesn't deserve to be compensated for that. But what I am saying is that why is compensated? Why it does matter, because the compensation doesn't have to be monetary. But that's what I'm trying to say is that we've structured our life around money, and it makes no sense. But the definition of
compensation is like it involves money.
But that's the thing, is like what like I said before, you're gonna go, okay, yeah, you'll take your money and you'll go and buy something to heat your house. But money doesn't heat your house. Wood heats your house. Green bell peppers feed you. Water nourishes you, and
you gotta grow that.
We don't structure our lives around growing bell peppers. We structure our lives around getting money to buy bell peppers. Yeah. And you had said earlier about how it doesn't make sense. How it doesn't make sense for every single person to make their own clothes and to, build their own house, and, it doesn't make sense for every single person to do that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it does. I kind of wish it was that way. I would like to build my own house and live in it, me personally.
Yeah, me too.
But
I would love to do that too.
But I know that it doesn't make sense because not everybody has access to the education that it even takes to do that, right? So, like, it does make sense now at this stage in our lives for people to do things of their own free will that they've specialized in. Like, I've specialized in music, like you're branching out and you're might be specialized in music right now, but you're working on podcasts, radio station, all types of cool shit like that, and branching out because you have the free will to do that. You know what I mean? Whereas people don't have that free will, and so people don't even get to do that because they got to structure their lives around shit that gets them money so that they can buy food. Whereas if somebody didn't have to buy food, didn't have to buy water, and I know it sounds entitled to you, but I don't want it to come off that way, obviously, but it isn't that way, because I don't mean that people are going to sit there all day and meditate and then food is going to pop up in front of them. You still got to go and earn your keep. If you live in a house, you should be putting out enough work into society so that you earn that house, and no one's going to come and try to take that from you, because you're going to earn compensation in the form of respect from people. You're going to earn compensation in the form of love, real love.
I get it.
That's not just like, oh, thank you so much for showing up.
Why does it keep raising in value? Like, why every year?
Because the value is fake. It's not a real value.
Real thing.
It's nobody
that they just put a
number
on just based on time.
Exactly.
How they feel.
Whereas if somebody, if I'm making music,
metric to it.
If I'm making music, like, let's take my brothers for example. I make music. My younger brother Noah, he's an artist. He's a digital artist and shit. My youngest brother is currently enrolled in BOCES to become a fucking, I don't know, he wants to do construction and shit.
Sure.
We all do different shit, but that doesn't mean that because I make music and music's quote unquote not a real job, that doesn't mean that the shit that I'm doing is any less valuable than what he's doing.
Yeah, man, I can relate to that.
And what my brother's doing, so where
I can relate to that.
Where I'm not saying that people should be allowed to idle and just be entitled and get everything that they need. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that people should want to go out and get it and create these good feelings like love and respect and all these things that you create when you put forth a genuine product, genuine ideas. Like my mom lives in a house right now. God bless her soul. She sold my childhood home to move into this nicer house. And with all due respect to my mother, the house is not built anywhere near as well as the house I grew up in, but it costs way more money, and it's way bigger, and it's all it's open concepts, and it's just, and it's like, but it's, we lived in there for a year, and then the washer and dryer started caving in through the middle of the ceiling over the top of where her partner would sit with the dog, and it's like, crazy. Yo, what's going on here? Like, you just paid all this money, like, you know, it's all this extra stress on your plate trying to make sure that this mortgage is met and that you have the money for food, and all this debt and all this everything and all this stress that we create for ourselves because we center our life around money rather than, because I love music more than anything else on this planet. Anytime I've been through hardship, outside, homeless, whatever, I'm sitting there making beats, and that's true. I got a beat called Homelessness in America that I'm waiting to get placed. I'm trying to place it somewhere because I made it sitting under a bridge, you know, and it's like, damn, like that's real. Like, I love music, but if I didn't have a monetary angle to this, and I'm not a rich rapper at all, you know, I'm not a rich rapper at all, rich producer, none of that. If I didn't have a monetary angle to this, and I didn't know or have a strategy, on how I can make money out of this, I couldn't do it. And that's what's so upsetting, is that, yeah, you could do it, but I couldn't do it in the capacity that I want to really flesh it out, to really, really make it everything that it can be and dedicate passion and time and everything to it, unless I said, okay, well, I can design merch. Okay, I can, you know what I mean? I can sell beats to other artists. I can work with movie companies, TV companies to get my beats put in their commercials and shows and everything like that. If I didn't have that angle, then I couldn't exhibit this passion in the way that feels most natural to me, which honestly, the way that feels most natural to me when it comes to music is waking up in the morning, giving myself an hour before I go on to blue light and everything, and then sitting there and making music until I can't keep my head up anymore. And God bless Lou, my wife. I love her more than anything, but she puts up with a lot, me sitting down in front of that computer and just working on that shit and having that faith in me, and more importantly, having that faith in God that this is going to create a life for us that we can be proud of. Sitting there, and she's doing the same thing in fashion, and sitting there and working on these designs and learning how to sew and curating clothes for different people and trying to make it happen for herself. And you know, it takes a lot to do that. It takes a lot to access these things and have the money to go get a sewing machine, to go get a laptop and a beat pad and speakers and all this shit. It costs money. It costs, like, that's a barrier. And that's what I'm getting at, is that there shouldn't be any barriers in this life. If we live in this world that's so technologically advanced and we produce so much food and we do all these things, why should there be barriers on what we're able to do?
So you think we should record people for free?
No, I don't think that you should record people for free, because you recording somebody. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. No, that's actually not what I'm saying at all. I promise you. Because you recording people for free doesn't remove money from the equation, because you still have to pay rent. So it doesn't, you know, if somebody woke up and they said, yo guys, no more rent, no more mortgage, y'all all good, I promise you, you're all good, and nobody had to pay anymore, then yeah, I'd be like, no, you should probably not be charging anybody to, you know, if you don't even have to pay, but you do. And you have to have a life for yourself that costs money. You have kids,
that's
so
wild,
you can't.
Like, that's the.
I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying that you should. Hold on. Please listen.
I would just say I disagree.
I don't think that you should record people for free.
You shouldn't really.
I don't think that you should have to charge people in order to help people make music, and that's the thing, is you have to charge them. No, because if you don't, then you can't do it.
People gotta learn how to invest in themselves, bro.
Of course, but how can you invest in yourself? Like I said, I was 15. I was 15 in a Target, and the guy told me I needed $1,500.
Sometimes time is money, bro. Like,
but
you invest.
You can sit there and you can write raps, all day, and you can make beats on the table all day, just like I used to.
That's time.
It's time, and that's how it got me to this point. That's how I am fluent in this shit now. Right. It's because I spent the time, right?
So, like, this time that I would spend, let's say, for the hour for a studio session, or let's say for anything that I do, the time that I spend, like, that time should be free because my time should just be.
Your time should just be free, is what I'm saying. It's
right.
not. It's not necessarily.
But that time is mine, though. Like, okay. So how could someone else tell me what the worth on my time?
That's like hold on. Pause, and listen for a second, though, because I'm not saying that somebody else is telling you what's the worth of your time. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you determine it, because this is the thing. If somebody comes in here, so no matter how good or bad they are, they're gonna come in here and record. Whereas if you didn't have to do that, if you didn't have to charge for people to come in here, you might close this space off to you and just the people on the label, because that's what you want to work on, and that's how you want to spend your time. Whereas even let's take Tone for example. Tone's an engineer who I was just hearing his beats. His beats got a lot better since I was last year, which was impressive, because we're both Geminis, so I got that competition with him, just inherently trying to just push the envelope. Not it's friendly, of course, but he's in there engineering, whereas he's also a rapper and a producer. And I'm not going to lie to you, I engineer too sometimes. Engineering is not a fun job. It is not a fun job at all. And maybe if you like who you're working with, of course it can be fun, but it's very tedious, and you got to really get into the details. And I've seen his process of mixing, and he is very if you come to Untouched Studios and Tone mixes your song, you're in good hands, I promise you. But
I feel like that's an opinion, though, to say that someone is not enjoying that.
Okay, all right, whatever. I don't like engineering. I'm a rapper. I would rather not have to sell my beats to anybody. I don't want to, let's stop using you guys as an example. Let me use myself so you don't take it a different way. I would rather not sell my beats. I would rather say, yeah, you can use that. Yeah, you can. Let's just make songs. Let's just make songs, and let's just make this world a better place. Literally, that's the goal. But that's the thing, is that it costs me money every time I have to eat. So if it costs me money every time I have to eat, I have to be bringing money in. And if I want to live this way, I have to put that barrier onto my music.
But what I'm saying to you, based on what your philosophy is, it don't cost money to eat. Just go get it, bro. Go shoot something.
See, but that's a different cost.
Get a knife.
That's a different cost.
You're
giving away. You giving away your humanity and your faith for your food.
Why don't you grow veggies, grow fruits?
Who's gonna buy the land? That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? You gonna buy the land? Wherever you staying at. What I'm saying is all right, boom. You saying I gotta make money to eat.
Of course,
but you already making money to live. In wherever you're living, let's say wherever your place is, you're paying for that space. Wherever that space is, why not go somewhere where they have
we on land out there, and we working. Hold on, we working on all that. We working on all that. We working on greenhouse. We collecting the seeds out the foods we eating and everything. We working on all that.
So ultimately that's gonna be the goal. So my thing is why not just focus on that being something that you want to do, as opposed to what you feel like is gonna heal the world, or feel like this is the cure.
So that's the question that I ask myself a lot, actually, is because I'll think to myself damn, this is a real deal struggle, and what is this struggle worth? Why is it worth it? Why is it worth it?
How do you know it works until you actually do it yourself?
Because it works. It worked for me. How? It worked for me. The way that I live my life now. As opposed, I've been through 3 suicide attempts, living for other people and living for this society and this culture, and living that way. Trying to, I've developed so many different conditions through living through that way. I have body dysmorphia now, bro. I look at myself in the mirror and I don't see how I actually look like. I see a morphed image of myself, because I have I'm sitting there in the mirror it's almost embarrassing to admit this, but I'll ask Lou all the time. Lou, I look fat? Do I look like a 90s woman? Lou, my butt look weird? What's up? My legs look funny to you? I got all these weird things that I developed through Instagram and body issues, bro. Insecurities, of course. Yeah. Everybody got insecurities, Yeah. And so some it's
more than others, though.
Of course, but I'm saying I've developed.
I ain't never look at my ass and be like,
we're different men. We're different men. I'm not sitting here saying all men are created equal. But we are different men. We are different.
That's a great point. That's what I'm saying, bro. At the end of the day, we're not created equal. No man, no woman. We're all different in our own thought processes, in our own body chemistry and makeup.
But I would never sit across from you in this room and say that for any reason whatsoever, whether like no matter what it was, you could say you were lazy, you could say anything like, oh well, what if I didn't even get out of my bed at all? Then I would still not sit here and say that you deserve to go hungry. I know that it might be wrong. It might be wrong,
and that's the moral compass though. That's like the moral compass.
And that's when you said, why don't you just go shoot some shit to get some food? I could do that. And you know, I'm not going, conspiracy is a real crime. But you can't sacrifice your humanity to do anything. It's not worth it, because I'm a man of faith, you know, I believe in God. It's like, if I'm gonna have this relationship with God where I know inherently
they killed animals in the Bible.
Of course, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm not saying that you don't kill animals. Like, but the reason why I've stopped eating meat is because we live in a factory farmed world. So that meat's not of quality. Whereas if I go out and I find a deer and I kill that deer, I know exactly what happened with that deer, and I know where he's at. I know what type of water.
You don't know where that deer came from, though.
But I know where he's at right now. Okay. I'll give you that. I don't know where he came from. He could have came from Arkansas.
You know what I'm saying? Down there. Some shit going on. He could have got injected and escaped.
Who knows? You know. But at the end of the day,
you know what I'm saying,
when that's the type of shit that's been created by our society that has done a lot of harm to us. That's like these things, like these body issues and shit that I'm talking about, like these don't exist in cultures that don't subscribe to the same types of beliefs that we do. And that's why I believe that it's important for me to do what I do, and not just drop out of first world society and say, okay, me, Lou, we gonna have our kids and shit. We gonna build us a little hut.
Why don't y'all move to Thailand? That sounds like everything you're saying.
Hold on, let me get to
this
point. Let me get to this point, and let me say this. The reason why is because there is so many people that wake up every single day and don't question the fact that they have to sacrifice their entire freedom just to have a roof over their heads. They don't question that fact because, like you said, it's all we've ever known. And that's why it's important for me to get on these beats that I make, where I'm sampling whatever I want to sample, where I'm bringing in whatever synths I want to use, and I'm talking to how I talk, you know? And that's what I love about my music, is it doesn't really sound like anything else to me. And that's why I love it, because I'm like, this song really captures what I was feeling, and putting out those feelings into the world has more value than I can even explain, because it's like off the top of your head, what's your favorite song that you didn't make?
That I didn't make?
Yeah, that you did. Like, don't name one of your own. Like
as
a fan. As a fan. What's one of your favorite songs?
So many, man. Goodness gracious. All right, let's go with Can't Hide Love, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
See? Now, if they would have got these thoughts of whatever they had in that song, whatever is in that song that makes you attached to it, that's probably gotten you through dark days and was there with you on your happiest days, if they would have just took what they put in that song and said, yeah, I think we're just gonna live that way, and then they just did it, you know, like, they wouldn't have in a way saved you, because there's been days where you might play that song and you're not feeling too great, and you hear that song, you're like, damn, well, that's all
song,
good. Like,
that song is not necessarily one of those songs though. Like, you're talking about like the song
it doesn't
that
matter,
brings
though.
me out of, because that's one of those records that has like a multitude of value.
But that's the thing, is that value is more important than anything, and that's what I create when I make my music. And that's why it's so important to me that I continue on this path, because of course I've had those thoughts where I'm like, well, if I could just like do this, and I could literally just we could grow our own food, and I might have to work like part-time at Dollar General or something, and we're growing our own food, and I just gotta like make money to pay for heating, and like, even that, we live in the forest. I'm out in Vermont, so like, we live in the forest. I'll cut down trees and we'll be fine. Like, we got blankets and shit from our past as capitalist subscribers, and we'll hold it down. But I had to realize, like I said to you when I first got here, that I realized that it's less of a situation of, okay, let me create this music because it's what I want to do, versus this is what I have to do. This is, I have to create these songs because other people need to hear these things that I have, that that I've like these conclusions that I've come to. And like if you look at the Lou tape, me and Lou had gotten through a lot of stuff, right? Like not at the beginning of our relationship, but like early on in our relationship, like, you know, some months ago and shit, like 8 months ago or so. And if you look at all these songs here, like all these songs tell that story of how we got through that, and how I was able to grasp some of the things that I had to deal with, and certain things like ego that came up, and other things like Lou. And one of the lines in there, I said, "Now I'm stressed on 888." I said, "I'm stressed about your past like you miss it," because I was going through a period where I was so worried about all of Lou's ex-boyfriends and ex-partners and everything, and it made me insecure in a way where I was like comparing myself to them a lot. And so people go through that. A lot of people go through that. Especially if you talk about situations with step parents and all that type of stuff, where it's like, damn, this guy has another kid by another woman, and it's like people go through those type of things, and those type of things create barriers in our lives that make us act in ways that we don't actually want to act. Like make us, if I would have just been insecure, and I would have never worked it out through this song and then shared it with the world, me and Lou would not be together today. We wouldn't. And that's super heartbreaking to me. And I feel that in my stomach. That makes me feel weird to say like me and Lou wouldn't be together right now. And if I wouldn't have done that. And that's to go further into it and say I have to do this for not just other people, but for myself, to even be able to live. Because
if y'all want to check that out, it's the Lou tape that's on YouTube. Slash Williams 888. That's on YouTube.
That's
check
on
that
all
out.
platforms. That's on all platforms too. Slash Williams 888.
Yeah, there we go.
Go listen to that.
Go check that out.
That's that real tunes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Knight. He's on there.
So is that 888? Is that a record that you want the people to hear? What's a good one? If you was to just pick one record.
If I was to just pick one right now from this one,
yeah.
If you had to pick one to start off with, I would say start off with Olivia's Freedom.
Okay.
That's it. That's track 6. I would start with that, and I would maybe start with Church People as well. God bless. Shout out to Trinity. She's staying. She from Cohoes and everything. Fire. So shout out to Trin. She got a shout out in that song.
That's dope. That's dope.
So and because Trin and her brother Isaac, I really grew up with them a lot. Like it's so weird. Like every time I come down here, I see like the Cumberland farms we used to walk to all the time, and I always just think that I just get like good memories.
That's
we used to get in snowball fights with all mad random kids and
fire,
shit. Like
that's fire.
Shout out to Cohoes. Cohoes, I like Cohoes, man. It's a cool place, man. I fuck with Cohoes a lot. And
Cohoes been good to me. Bro.
Yeah, I like Cohoes, man. So it's cool out here. I just feel like it doesn't get upstate doesn't really get a lot of love, you know, and it's like
why do you think that is?
I feel like upstate doesn't get a lot of love because we don't love each other. I'm gonna say that right now. I feel like when I first started making music with my brother in Christ, Pharaoh Clark, shout out to him as well. He introduced me to something he called the Albany mentality. He said, you don't get it, bro. It's the Alb mentality. And I was like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, it's just envy up here. It's just a lot of people butt heads, and they're always worried about, like I said, being in competition with Tone doesn't mean that I want him to fail.
Right.
Then I'm mad that he got a placement on your project that's coming out tonight. Shout that project out.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad he got that placement instead of me, and I'm not jealous of him, but I'm like, damn, I'm trying to get one. Let me get on a project. Let me do this. And then here I got on. Oh, he got on. I got to do another one that's tough because that'd be whatever. That type of competition versus the competition of, nah, if you playing his song, get out.
You talking iron? You talking iron sharpening iron?
Of course.
Yeah.
But upstate, I feel like there's such a mentality in anything, and it doesn't have to just be in the music. But I remember this from football, especially. Football, it was like, okay, if we're gonna use this guy on this play, and then all of a sudden I would just feel like, damn, like I'm not good. I suck at football, and that's that mentality that people let that, like I had said in 888, where I was talking about my insecurities and how those insecurities are what we live by up here a lot of the time, and we live in these ways that it doesn't have to be that way, but we convince ourselves that it does. Like if I were to come in here and take a mentality that I had maybe 3 years ago to it. I would be mad as fuck every single time somebody did anything. I would be like, yo, why is he rapping that way? He should rap this way because that way of rapping is better. And he should rap on my beat because it sounds better with this vocal he doing. But it's like, you don't create your best life that way. You don't create your best art that way. You don't.
I agree.
Because it's all.
How do you build? How do you build something bigger than yourself?
Exactly.
You can't do that unless
you can't do it alone.
Yeah, you can't do it alone.
And
not a movement. A movement isn't a single thing.
Nah, and
not
you
with
can't.
just one
And
vision.
that's what's happened to even to focus on our music culture.
Yeah.
People are making songs for TikTok.
Yeah,
People are making songs to go viral and to maybe get a couple $1,000s off of it, or you know, and it's just like, that's not the point of this. Music was created to fill that. People found out they could make music banging rocks together, and then they just like kept doing it. And they were like, but what if we like specifically made a rock to like make it the kick of like the rock drums? And they did that, and then we've developed, and like Beethoven wrote all his shit, and then like we've gotten to a point where now I'm taking soul records, or I'm taking even movie soundtracks, or I'm taking you know, I love to sample Pierre songs. I love to sample you know, trap beats, and like that's some new shit. A lot of people don't do that, but like, you know, taking these things and making them into something new and infusing it with more love, you know, infusing it with more just like good feelings and good vibes, and then putting that out there into the world. People need. I'm of the belief that people need music just as much as they need air to breathe, and because music creates so many different things. If you have a bunch of people standing in a room and you start playing music, all of a sudden it's a party. It's not just people in the room. It's a party. Everybody's singing, dancing, whatever. Like,
it's a whole vibe at that point.
And if you're outside running because your doctor says you got to lose weight,
right?
And then you're playing Beyonce. You know, fun fact: Beyonce makes you run faster. I used to listen to Beyonce before all my football games. But
that's greatness.
And Drake makes you run slower. So that's a
shout out to Beyonce.
Did. Yeah, I guess she doesn't really need the shout out.
I'm a shout out.
You can shout her out. Shout out to Beyonce, I guess.
Facts.
All love, all the single ladies, whatever. Shout out to y'all and everything. But you know, you are outside running because your doctor says you have to you know, live, and then you play a song, and now all of a sudden you're enjoying your run, and it becomes part of your routine. And so many people, it happens that way for them, where they're like, yeah, I didn't really like working out, but then, you know, I started playing my favorite album, and I did 3,000 push-ups that day. And it's like that type of thing creates life when you get beat down by. One of my first songs that I released on major platforms is called Slams 48 Slam 67, and it's spelt like I misspelled Psalms. And it's basically, I have a line in there where I'm like, they want me, basically, I can't remember the line right now. It's from smoking weed, actually. But, you know, like, it's basically where I'm like, they want me defeated on the couch. They want me sitting on the couch after work, upset and depressed. And, you know, like, and in that same song, I talk about, I said, I will not have health insurance. That's the life I lead, because it goes into that thing that we were saying, where it's like you got to give up your freedom, your humanity, whatever, to eat. And it's like, I've kind of reversed that, and I said, no, I will give up my health to live the way that I'm destined to live. I will put that risk out there into the world, because I'm willing to live this way, because I know it's the right thing for me to do in my heart. And I'm not going to sacrifice that because they need me for $16 an hour washing dishes. Like, let's talk about value for a second, right? What's a restaurant without a dishwasher? Ask your friends that own a restaurant. How the fuck are you gonna serve food if you got no clean plates? You not. But you still gotta pay that dishwasher less than, because his labor is considered unskilled or easy or however. And it's like, you don't have to, obviously. Like, don't catch me on that. But you get but dishwashers.
That's why I said it all comes back to a choice, bro.
Yeah,
like,
right.
At the end
but
of the day,
that's the thing, is that when your choices have to be based on money in this society
it's not
that
always,
we live in.
though. That's not always.
And
what I'm saying is
but
that,
look at me though. I don't have no health insurance because I've decided to live in a way that doesn't prioritize making money.
Sure.
I still, you know, I got my shit that I'm working on, merch.
So why have an LLC? Why have
an LLC? Because that's the most efficient way to make money as a business.
Why make money?
Because because I can't drop out of society, because what I do has value for other people, and I can't take that away from them, because I can't say that.
Why are you living for them? It's about
I'm not living for them.
Right.
I'm living for the earth, and they're members of the earth the same way I am.
Right.
So I'm living for God, and I'm living. So that means that I'm living for God's children. So that means if I'm out here making my music, and I'm out here,
I'm just saying, why not just do everything for free then? You know
why not just do everything for free? Because I can't avoid money. So if I take money. No, you can't.
How not
because
so? You can go
because I can't walk down the street with a bowl out and nobody's gonna put food in my plate for me. That's not how it works. Mm-hmm. I can't do that. So I have to prioritize it, because if I have to of course, you can go to the soup kitchens and everything, but I didn't grow up that way to say, I was the kid that my mom was in there, crying about bills and shit, and I was going to my neighbor like, yo, can I work for like a couple $1 and shit? And I'm running back over there like with $1 and say, like, Mom, this will help. And she's like, that's not gonna help. Let's go get some ice cream. Like, what are you doing? Cool, but of course, so like, I grew up that way, and I think that a lot of people take that misconception and they hear communist and they think, oh, he thinks the government should take all our money and then everything should just, the government should run everything. No, I don't think that at all. I don't think that, no, that's not what I believe. But I believe that people's value should be determined by what they create into the world and not just what they can get out of it. And that's where things have been skewed. Where, like you said, people have to learn to invest in themselves. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, because while I do still smoke weed, and I kind of want to cut it out, because like I'm spending money and I don't really got that much money to be smoking weed and shit. So I'm like, I've been slowing down and shit, right? But I did have to still learn how to invest in myself. I was in college with the little $500 that I had left from my summer job, and I was like, damn, okay, so I need the mic. The mic is $100. The interface is $100. God bless my dad. He gave me the laptop as a graduation gift. So it's like, all right, I gotta invest in myself with this money, and then, I'm going to pay for, this is how I learned to mix, by the way. I paid for somebody to mix one of my songs, and it was so bad. I got so fucking mad, and I just was like, I'm going to learn how to do it myself, and that's how I started making beats. Just was like, I was impatient, and I was just like, I just want to do it myself and create it.
Money.
Right. No, but I spent time, too, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
And
time and money.
People
Sometimes
do have to learn how to invest in themselves. But I've had to make certain sacrifices in order to have that time. Yeah. In order to have that time to invest in myself, and mm-hmm. and that's the main thing that I would want people to take away from this interview, is that whatever in your heart and soul is what you need to be doing on your day-to-day. When you're in that job, thinking to yourself, blah, 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 whatever, I want to be making music, I want to be growing food, I want to be whatever, building houses. You got to go do it, and you got to make those necessary sacrifices, and you can't live by that fear that this culture wants you to subscribe to. You can't be afraid. And you got to just get up, fucking get the food you can get for the day, get some rest. It's important to sleep. Get some rest. Man, get up the next day.
That's what I need to invest in. I need to invest in some sleep, bro.
That's why I was saying that 24-hour days are hard on me, because I think, damn, I got 24-hour days. I could probably sleep for 2, maybe. I can maybe get 2 hours, but
but when you moving, man, sometimes the days kind of blend together. So like when it comes to sleep and grinding, when you have ideas. Like,
I just always think of that 2 Chainz song. You go, look me right in my eye. You can sleep when you die. I always think of that and that's kind of a harmful mentality.
It's just a grind though. Like real shit is just a grind at the end of the day, bro.
Right.
Like when you trying to get something, like nothing in this world is free. Mm-hmm. Not even freedom at this time.
No.
Nothing in this world is free, and it's like we all try to tailor make what we see things to be as, a standard of what we feel the best lifestyle choices and things like that. So you got the vegetarians, vegans,
Right,
and
and
all
I'm
of
saying
that. You got those different people.
a lot of people don't build those mentalities off of what they know inside themselves. They build their mentalities just like I did with my insecurities in high school and shit. And even now, a lot of those things, they don't come from inside me. God didn't make any single one of his children to grow up and look at themselves in the mirror and say, I don't want to live anymore. I don't like the way I look. And so we are getting these things from a place of, it's deceit. That's the devil. Anytime you read about money and like the spiritual connections of money, the money is devil's territory. So many people pray every night to God, give me money, please, I need it. My family need to eat, I need to pay rent, heat. And it's like, but you gotta give in to some of this shit in order to get some money out of it. Because I believe it's sacrilegious to to charge for beats, but I have to do it. Because if I don't, then I can't make them. And that's it. And that's what sucks. If I don't charge for beats, then I can't live my life making them. Because money is the way that you live. You have to live through money. And if you don't, you're done. You're going to be homeless, and you're going to be... you put it in the hands of other people. What if they don't come to the soup kitchen that day? And they won't feed you. And it's like, you can't put it in other people's hands. And that's why you have to look at life and if you don't, take it into your own too.
Although if you don't have money, you can also... come across somebody else that finds value in you, who has money, and although you may not value it, they may make sure that you have a place over a roof over your head, make sure that you have transportation and ways to do whatever you have to do. Those people still have to appeal to their standard of living in order to be able to help you live the standard that you're living.
But I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying that we should build our standard of living from inside rather than from society's ideals.
But what I'm saying is, and in order to do that, then you have to just focus on the inside and see where it ends up before you start judging the outside. You get where I'm going with it?
See, that's where I would disagree with you. I don't feel like I'm judging.
Well, because
I feel like
as
I'm
a
looking
man
at
of faith, you shouldn't judge.
I'm not judging. I'm
You're
not judging another
people's
man.
Circumstances. You're judging their circumstances, their mindset. You're judging their way of living. You're judging everything about a person. And that, as a man of faith, I'm also a man of faith. That sounds like hate. Like, see, that's also
I disagree with you because I'm not taking it that way because I'm not. I feel like you heard me say you charge $50 and you made it out to feel like I was criticizing you for charging money.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Nah, but what I'm saying
it has nothing to do with my business. It's more so has everything to do with your general perception on how you think people think. Like, I feel like you're too young.
Because I'm watching
I feel
what
like
people
you're too
doing.
young.
Nah, I disagree with you. Don't tell me that.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I feel like you're too young and inexperienced to understand like what that means to like assess another person or judge another person's circumstances. And it's not.
So how am I? What do you mean by judging somebody's circumstances?
So like, all right. So if you look at, so like, boom. So
I'm judging the circumstances of our life.
Right. So boom. So all right. When you say our life, right? You don't know much about my life, so you couldn't tell me about my life.
But I don't have to know much about your specific life to know about how we've all been treated.
You're saying like you don't need to know enough about my life to know how I'm living.
No, I didn't say that.
Well,
I said to
you're
know.
You're not saying that directly. I'm trying to help you out here. You're not saying that directly, bro. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I love the way the interview is going. I love the conversation. One thing I don't love about the younger people is that you guys don't listen. And
I'm listening.
No. The reason why I say that is because you guys talk more than you listen.
Of course, I'm a Gemini. I'm sorry.
Right, but but that doesn't subscribe to Tone and Galaxy, who are also Gemini. That
you got another one in here?
We got crazy. Tone.
We got three of them.
We got Tone, Galaxy, and we got Mississippi. All three of them know how to listen. So what I'm saying is that, also as a man of faith, God gave us 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth. We're supposed to pay attention and listen more than we speak.
Well, where you think I'm getting all this shit I'm talking from?
What I'm saying is that you're not letting me speak to understand my position. You already would jump on it with like what you feel like where I'm coming from, or you would say like to highlight the $50 an hour, like I don't give a fuck about that. But
So
that
I'm not
shouldn't
judging
even
y'all
be,
at all.
no, but that shouldn't. What I'm saying is that shouldn't be like something that is discussed by another man. Like what I'm charging.
But why not?
What if you doing business with me? But outside of that, it shouldn't be like, yo, bro, like this is how you should be conducting your business.
No, I'm not telling you how to conduct your business. I'm saying that I don't believe that time, because if you can't spend your money to buy more time, why should money even correlate to time at all? Why should your time and money, why should the time that you spend in a house be worth $1,600 a month or whatever it's worth a month?
It doesn't though.
But
Because
it is.
you don't spend because you don't spend that much time in that house all the time. Because you spend more time out of your house than in your house. Like,
so
why
should you have to pay for it then?
See
like, that's what I'm saying.
No,
like,
right,
why should you have to pay for a sleep?
But that sounds wild though, because it's like, all right, so why should you have to pay for a space that you barely occupy? That's my choice whether or not I want to spend that much time.
And I feel
you
like,
get what I mean? Like,
I feel like you're
everybody,
taking it very personally.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm just
giving
you. I'm speaking generally, bro. I'm
right.
being honest.
I feel
because
you.
like I feel like what happens is like, you know, and this is the gap between the younger and older people. And I'm saying older like I'm mad old, but in the
old
reality,
are you? Can you tell me? I never
we're
knew.
not even gonna get into that right now. But
Really?
the reality of right now we'll get into it later. But
all
like
right.
what I'm saying is that like the reality of it is that people have a mindset that are younger where they want all new mindset, new way to do things. Everything's new. And then another thing that happens with it, like I was saying, is that you guys get into this sense of what you're saying is fact as opposed to opinion. Like, I feel like there's not enough people stressing opinion over fact. Like, I feel people are just chatting these days and just speaking of what they saw or what they've researched and what it meant to them. You know, the Bible and all these different, you know, religious and spiritual guidances and stuff like that, they are interpreted different. You know, everybody interprets things differently. Everybody interprets this world differently. Everybody interprets the concept of money differently, the concept of time differently. We all have our own mindset to go. Just because you speak to a specific few or many, rather, you know, when it comes to something that's trending, you look at that and be like, all right, this is how everyone is thinking. But not everyone is thinking the way that you may think they're thinking. They may have a totally different agenda to begin with. Like, it might be something else altogether.
Of course,
like,
that's true. But where I was using this studio as an example, right? But any studio that you go to is gonna charge you, and I charge the engineer as well. So I'm not saying that. I'm not telling you how to conduct your business at all. And I get where it would come across as if I was saying that this is how society thinks at large, and that's not necessarily what I'm saying, but it's how society acts. And I can look at things such as the way that our government has conducted itself based on fact. And I can look at things such as the way our education system is set up, which is almost kind of not based on fact, the way our education system is. And so I can look at those things and I can say what that means for me. And because I know where I've been in life,
right,
and it hasn't always been pretty days. It's been hungry nights.
So that's why I say speak from that place, though, bro. You gotta continue to speak. So speak from that place,
and that's where I'm speaking from.
Do less judgment of other people's.
I'm not judging nobody. I'm not judging no man.
I'm telling you,
because if I was judging people, don't you think I would have taken that belief when I saw that guy in shackles and I would have said, "Damn, all he had to do was not steal, and here he goes stealing." No. I'm not.
That's just not what that means. When you judge people, it like. Judgment isn't always based on something to be judged. Judgment is based on what you feel needs to be judged on. Like, I feel like your insecurities dictate your judgment. Like, I feel like if
for me specifically, or all people,
from based on what you're saying, I'm just basing it off of this conversation. I feel like your insecurities dictate your judgment. Like, so if you feel this way about money and how that has affected you, what it ultimately does it projects your judgment on how other people value money, whether if there's lack thereof. Like from what it sounds like, you know, growing up, and I understand what that means because my mom used to work hard and bills and you know what I'm saying. She still work hard. You know, shout out to my moms and all moms out there that's going hard for for their families. Mm-hmm. It comes a time to like where it becomes trauma to where it's like, why the fuck is money so important? Like, why do we have to live like this? Why do we have to try to why can't I just be a fucking astronaut? Like I want to be a doctor. Why can't I just go catapult to be a doctor? Like, why do I have to go through all this? Why should I go to like what I'm saying is just like why can't I go to school and just be a doctor? Like why can't I just go catapult and to be a doctor?
I think what I want to say to you right now about what my point in saying like basically everything I said is that money holds a fake importance in our life because it's not really the important things. The important things are the food, the water, the shelter, and the clothing if you live after a time of Adam and Eve, right? So like money gets attached to all these things. It costs money to dress yourself, it costs money to eat, it costs money to drink water, it costs money to have a house that you may or may not spend a lot of time in. I personally make beats at the house, so I'm at the house a lot. But I don't think
it don't cost
that
money to drink water though.
It kind of does. It kind of does. It kind of does, bro. Because like
you can go to any fast food spot, ask for a cup of water, and they give it to you.
Right. You're right.
You can go to any faucet in any bathroom and drink.
Right, but
water.
who's gonna pay? Someone has to pay that water bill.
But that's not the person. See what I'm saying?
Somebody has to pay that water because it's connected.
But no, it's not disconnected. But at the same time, is that we're talking about the people that can't pay it. Like, you're talking about the people that don't have the money to pay for water.
And from your perspective, you said that the people that's the weaker hunters don't deserve to so.
No, what I'm saying is that when the weaker hunters, so like that, like let's use the water for example.
Yeah, right.
So you got the weaker hunters, they're going in, they can't go get the water and pay for the water, and it comes to the sense of money.
Yeah, right.
But yet they'll just come and just drink the water. Can I get a cup of water? Ice water. They get a cup of ice water. They go into the bathroom. They drink the water from a faucet. They fill up a cup that they had of water from a faucet, right? Mm-hmm. So you got that. That person is getting that. But the person that is paying for the water can get as much fucking water as they want. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, in the sense of,
but
like, that person can't just pull up, right? And shut down that bathroom and just say, hey, I'm about to just hold this bathroom down because I need to drink water all day. Because there's other people that gotta get in there. That person.
But that is what Poland Springs and Nestle and all these companies have done to our water supply. Right. Is they go to the government and they say, "Yo, let's work out this contract where we can get some water out and we'll provide value by putting it in bottles for people and purifying it for people." And then the government goes, "Okay, you can take this much water." And when Nestle goes and breaks that contract and basically shuts down the bathroom so no one can come in and even drink out of the fucking toilet if they want to, it signals to me that we live in a society that prioritizes money over anything because the government business, sold that.
That's
but
business. There's no personal.
Business,
you can't put personal within business.
But where in the Bible did they talk to you about? So when your sister needs a drink of water, stand on business. Make sure she can pay for it. They never said that. And you're even talking about the storehouse. You're talking about
storehouse though.
You know, biblical ways of living and giving somebody a glass of water when they need one.
That's what a storehouse was though, bro. A storehouse in the Bible is that process. Is a business.
Is a business. People come in there and
that's
they got
what a storehouse is, bro.
But do people have to pay for something that God gave us?
To get cattle.
Should people have to pay for something that God gave us?
Like to get cattle. What I'm saying is like
should people have to pay for something that God gave us?
It's like the barter system. It's like, all right, you getting paid in other things because there wasn't the value of an actual dollar.
So look, when I come in here and I buy a studio session from you, right?
Right. I'm
paying you for something that you gave me because you gave me the infrastructure to make the song that I'm about to record or whatever, right? Who did Nestle make water? No. Did no, they didn't. God gave us that water. So unless I'm paying to God, which I do when I pray, when I repent, when I, you know what I mean, spread the gospel to other people, like, you know, putting Bible verses to people's head and all that type of stuff. That's how I'm paying God.
They
right?
did go through that process of purifying the water, though.
That's to say that the water didn't come to us pure.
It still was purified. I mean, come on.
Did the water,
the out of all the springs and things like that, like that water isn't always the purest of water. Sometimes it gotta go through some sort of process. You can't just go to the
God.
You can't just go to the ocean and drink some.
So you can't just go.
Water.
You can't just go to the ground and grab a carrot out of there and bite that. And
you probably can, but there's a chance you can get sick too.
Of course you could get sick. You could get sick any fucking way.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. So then, like, ultimately, it's like really chance. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Yeah, there's such a degree of chance in life in general, because that's what you have to.
So you gotta live for your personal. You gotta live for your personal mindset. Like, you have a mindset, right? Mm-hmm. You have your personal goals and aspirations. You got your personal goals and aspirations, and you want to live that way. What I'm saying to you, and this is where I tend to disagree with the approach, is that if you intend to live a certain way, I don't necessarily feel like just because you live that way, you should impose that will on other people. Like, I'm a Christian, but I go to a non-denominational church. I don't believe in that part of Christianity to where we have to push it or force it on everybody. Shout out to New Day Christian Empowerment Center, man. Word, I was connected.
But you go on Sundays?
So, yes, every Sunday.
You might see me in there. I might stop in.
Yeah,
but
that'd be cool. But like, what I'm saying is like you don't, like, when it comes to me as how I like to handle myself and my faith and things like that, I don't like to push my belief systems and my standard on other people. I like to have a standard, and if people live up to that based on how they see me and view me in my day to day, then hey, that's what it is. But that's how Jesus lived. Jesus didn't go around telling people, this is how you supposed to be.
And let me
Jesus
say this stuff.
just lived as the example.
So this is a great example to use, is that I'm gonna tell you exactly why I don't eat pork. I'm gonna give you every religious reason and every whatever reason. But if you still want to eat a pepperoni pizza, I'm not gonna beat your ass over a pepperoni pizza.
Definitely won't, because I'm definitely gonna eat a slice of pepperoni pizza again.
But I'm saying
that's a fact. I am.
But I'm saying that if I've changed my life to a certain way through the various methods of which I've undergone change in the past few years, and I don't take my time to even come in here and say to you and in this podcast and everything what I believe and how I think and whatever, then I'm doing the process that I've undergone a disservice by not sharing it with the world. Because that goes back to the music of saying, okay, me and Lou went through a lot. Excuse me. Oh my God, excuse me. And I put it on music, and I made it what it is. Right? So you gotta share with the world. And so, like, where you took it as judgment, I kind of feel offended by that. It's not judgment. It's more me taking my perspective and applying it to the conditions that I see my people living in. Because that's how I see the world. Everybody around here is our people.
Sure.
And it's just, so it's like,
But you gotta, what I was going with it is, like, you gotta realize is that those are your eyes and how you see the world.
Right.
Doesn't
but
mean
if
that's how
I don't share my eyes and you don't share your eyes,
sure,
we're all gonna be blind.
Right. But then that's where I say to you is that you have to understand that through someone else's eyes could be truth. Through your eyes isn't the only truth. That's your truth.
Right. And I'm not saying that it is the only truth.
And that's where the judgment comes in. That's where I come in with where I disagree with how, based on your knowledge of someone's situation.
You're saying that, but I base everything off of my knowledge of my own situations and how I've lived.
Right, but then you're still able to assess someone else's situation or someone else's mindset based on what they're doing. That's what you literally did.
Right. No, and I'm not
disagreeing
with you.
That's what I mean.
But
that's
I don't think
judgment.
I don't think that it's wrong to do that.
I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just getting.
All right, you're just putting a name to it.
What
you
right?
mean.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just making you aware
but I don't.
the judgment.
Let's leave it at this. Let's leave it at this. We can leave the conversation at this. We'll say this. I don't judge a man for anything that he does. I don't judge a man. That's not my place. I'm not God. I'll never claim to be. So I'll never judge a man for nothing that he does. I won't judge at all. Because I got way too much to focus on to sit here judging. But I will look at the society that I live in and the conditions that it's forced on me. And I will talk about what that means for me and my people and the people that I'm around. And how that affects us and how it's affected me. And there's certain ways and certain things that we are all affected by, like money, that we all have a need to eat food, water, house, whatever.
But everybody's concept of money is not the same.
Of course not. But
so
I'm
that's
saying
where I'm going at.
Everybody's
so it's like
okay. All right, then I feel what you're saying.
You can't speak on.
But hold on, we gotta leave it at this. You keep telling me wrap it up.
But
he keep looking at me doing this motion to wrap it up, and then we keep going.
But it wraps up. It wraps up with my conversation, though. It doesn't wrap up with your convo. That's why I keep saying that. So you finish your point, so I could wrap it up with my point.
I didn't know the rules.
Yeah,
he never laid them out.
Well, I don't really got to give out the rules, man. I just talk. You know what I mean? It's called conversation. We just sit here, we chat.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying, let me say to you that I don't want to judge another man, but I will judge the way that our society makes men live, and because I don't
society
believe that
is made up of men
who make other men do things,
but it's still made up of men. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying. This is like society. To speak on society is really speaking on everyone and how they are living. That's where I'm trying to get at with you, bro. You're speaking on what you see and how you interpret what you see. That doesn't necessarily
what
mean
else am I going to speak on?
No, what I'm saying is you of course you're supposed to speak on that. But what I'm saying is like that's the difference between opinions and facts. Like you could lay out facts and say, hey, these are the facts and these are how I interpret the facts. But there's a person out there that looks at those same facts and see it different than you. Just because they see it different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just because they see it different than you doesn't make
let
them
me ask
wrong.
You this, and then your rebuttal will be our last little waveform in the sound universe. How do you believe that I should exhibit my beliefs on a platform like this where I'm asked to come in and do an interview, whatever? Mm-hmm. How do you feel I should go about explaining my view on the world without you taking it as judgment of others?
I personally just feel like you should just speak from your perspective. It should just be from your perspective. It shouldn't be downplaying how other people may be going about their business or how other people may be going about their food or like whether they want to eat pork or not. Like that's none of your business. That's really none of your concern. But if you want to put something out there to say, hey, yo, you shouldn't eat pork because of this, that, and the third, and then somebody makes a choice to do what they do what they do. That's your choice. But it doesn't mean that what you're saying is any more right than what someone else could be saying. You know, like we're still learning, all of us, even with the age differences, however it may be. Just because you're young doesn't mean you don't know more than somebody that's older than you. Of course you do.
I wouldn't even say more. Just different.
That's all. I'm gonna say more because there is a level of intellect that exists when it comes to our people and how we decide to process information. Mm-hmm. Some people can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Some people have.
God bless them. They live. Ignorance is bliss.
God bless them.
Ignorance is bliss. I wish I never
some
turned
people
communist.
Can't process. Some people can't process that. You know, but like I get back into that mentality of being able to listen and being able to observe. And I would say in interviews moving forward and things like that, your best option is you should start listening more and understanding where we're going with it as opposed to just imposing your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because necessarily what happens is that we start talking about the insecurities, and we start talking about the things that honestly takes away from what you're ultimately saying, because it gives a perspective where it can look envious, or it can look like you're judging someone, because ultimately it don't look like you're happy with where you are, and happy where you got to. And you know what I'm saying, you talk about the relationship, and you're not so happy with that situation, and you had to do this or y'all won't be together. That's a big statement, and those are the statements, that when you mention living upstate and the Albany mentality, you said that people kind of get in their own way, and they can't look at another person
get in their own way, and then take that a step further and get in everybody else's way as well.
Sure. And I feel like that's something that you're not doing. I don't feel like you're imposing your will and staying in somebody's way. I don't feel like that from you. I'm just saying to you, in your journey, bro, like, continue your journey. Continue on what you're doing. Continue on what you're doing, and seek knowledge, bro. Because at the end of the day, knowledge is powerful, but applied knowledge is knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is powerful. Mm-hmm. So like, you should definitely look into how you applying. You're already applying it. You're already on your path.
But how I can improve.
But how you can improve yourself, bro.
That's why I asked you. That's why I asked you, what do you think I should do? Because I'm trying to know.
You can live by moving forward, always forward. Like, that's the type of person I am. I keep the head up and I move forward, bro. And I keep conscious of where I came from, but it's always forward. So when it comes to you, I just would like to see you digest the information a little longer. I feel like you just hear something. I feel like you hear something. I feel like you hear something and you just go. You don't necessarily digest it yet. Like, there's no way you could have digested it that fast, because a lot of the times I'm not even getting to the point yet. I'm trying to get there, but your thought, because you may have heard a word that triggered, or you may have heard a statement that triggered, you can't wait for a statement to be finished because you have to say your feeling. That's insecurities. That's like someone that has issues with feeling like they're being belittled. Like they have to get their voice out, like
I know.
I'm not saying that.
Way,
I'm just saying how it comes off. Like, that's why I get you saying. Like, I'm not saying you feel that way, but that's how it comes off. So like, when you're having, a discussion about a multitude of things, like, we didn't even get to a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk to you about. I felt like I couldn't guide the conversation with you in a way that was on a positive note to where we could get past this. We spent most of the conversation on this topic, but there are a lot of fun topics that people may want to hear from you. People want to hear some of the stuff that, I may want to ask you that is more on the fun side.
You want to ask? You got a list of questions for me? You want to ask me one, and then we can leave?
So what I'm saying is that what happens is that you start imposing your will, and when you impose your will like that, you shut off. When you speak, it's hard to hear. You shut off a part of your hearing that is very vital to process and digest that information. You can't do that while talking. You have to take a second to hear it, process it, then speak. That is the disconnect I feel from the younger generation these days than the older generations. Like, a lot of people
that's TikTok
just speak.
fault.
Right. Social media. Everybody got an opinion. Media.
Well, it's not even just everybody. Everybody always had an opinion, but it's just the fact
what I mean.
The fact of everything came so instant. You don't even have to write nothing out on a paper no more. You just type it out, and it's like, I think of course I'm a victim of all this shit I'm fucking talking about because I live in this society. So it's like, of course, I'll come back. You got questions that you want me to answer. I will answer them.
That's all good,
but
bro.
I had to set the stage a little bit, and I'm definitely glad. What was the author's name you had on here?
Yeah, so his name is Pleasant D. Spain.
Yeah, so
Pleasant
shout
to
out to
Spain.
him. Y'all go read his books.
Yeah.
Go check out some other episodes, bro. You on this app or whatever? Go check out some other episodes, man.
Gotta
You
pull
got
up.
value out this one. Go get some more.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and we definitely gonna have Slash Williams back, man. Slash Williams 888 on all platforms, man. And we're gonna ride out to one of your records, bro. Which one would you wanna ride out to?
Go ahead, play. Go off this project. Go to Chill. Go to Communist Cody. So go off this project. You want a loot tape? Yeah. We gonna go to Communist Cody. New project out all platforms. Communist Cody. We got 6 tracks produced by Baby Cody, rapper producer out of Houston, and shit. So north and the south and shit like that. So yeah, go ahead and let's go ahead and hear go ahead and play Namesake. That's one of my favorite tracks. So
Namesake,
yeah.
This is a Modern Warfare 3 promo takeover. Get dual double XP and bonus in-game rewards.
Unlock Modern Warfare 3 in-game rewards when you order from Little Caesars.
And stuffed crazy bread for $3.49.
Yeah, that's that shit. Slash in the precinct. No cash but the new Mick. Black ash on the fit says. I'm Catholic. I'ma be my same way. Yeah. I'ma pass my namesake. Play for me. And I lose control. Over time, I done lost my hold. I don't know how to lose my soul. I seen most of y'all done sold. Over y'all, my dead body. My head hobby. Are you fucking for real? I done ducked on some meals. I done trucked for some skills. Got some cuts in your kill. Got some hits in the tuck. Get some hits in your field. Let me get up. The blitz for real. Boy got caught up. Ain't bum gums at all. Still slash in the precinct. No cash but the new mink. Black ash on the fit says. I'm Catholic, I'ma be my same way. Chill. I'ma pass my namesake. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. I'ma pass my namesake. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray. Now hold it down. I'm in this split thing, fam. I ain't not been around. I gotta leave from out of the states and I gotta find myself. I gotta leave from out of your face and I gotta look at my me. Hey, I'm in the mirror and I'm seeing 3. I can do this shit often. Ain't many drugs. I'm like the Costins. Like, where was the love? Like, you don't even care. Just in the mirror, I'm still slashing the precinct. No cash with the new me. Black ash on the fit says. I'm Catholic, I'ma be my same way. Yeah, I'ma pass my namesake. Pray for me. Pray for me. I'ma pass my namesake. Pray for me. Yeah, that's just the outro. You want to cut it down, you can chill in.
Yeah, that's fire, bro. I'm fucking with that.
I appreciate you, man.
That was real smooth. I
appreciate you. Namesake / Williams
And
888.
you said who made that beat?
Baby Cody.
Yeah.
Shout out to Houston.
Shout out to
I've never
Houston.
been to Houston, but I want to go to Houston.
Yeah, I've been to Dallas. That's the only part of Texas I really Fort Worth.
You fuck
Fort
with
Ann,
Dallas?
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
Bro,
Fucking Dallas.
I heard they got a lot of guns down there. I don't want to get shot.
Yeah. They got a lot of guns everywhere, man. We in America.
Yeah, nah.
But yeah, man. I appreciate you though, bro. Real shit,
sure,
man. Thank you for pulling up.
For sure, of course,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
Definitely want to have you again.
Y'all tell him to invite me back.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna slide back, bro. I like this this conversation. There's so much more that we could cover. Of
course.
But I like your honesty. I think that's the most important thing to me.
I appreciate
like the fact
yours
that
too,
you-
man.
that
Take
you
a
just
lot to somebody to tell me I gotta chill out. That
Hey,
take a
it's
lot.
alright.
People don't like to do that all the time.
Yeah,
so
you
I
gotta
appreciate you for that, man.
You gotta, be straight up and down like 6 o'clock, bro. That's it.
6 o'clock.
But yeah, man. I
I
hope everybody.
6 o'clock. Got here at 9.
So yeah, man. I appreciate all that listen, man, and definitely go check out my boy Slash Williams 888. He got some new music out. He got some old music out. My boy make beats. And he gonna be around, man. He gonna be around.
Shout out to SW888.wave on all platforms. You
Hey.
can find out I got beats hosted up and everything. You
Hey.
can shop on the website. Get you
Yes.
some merch.
Get
You know
some
what I mean?
merch.
I forgot
Get
to
some
bring
merch.
my boy Easy a gift, but
It's okay.
next time I'm coming back
I'm
with
here.
presents.
I'm here.
I'm
here.
coming back
It
with
was-
mad presents.
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. And yeah, man, we out.